The general understanding is that spiritual practice, that yoga, is about performing certain exercises, practicing certain techniques by which the mind is purified and a state known as enlightenment is eventually reached. This is only partly true. And we could say that the first two books of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras focus on that aspect, focus on that understanding. It's about what you can do. And the goal is samadhi. The goal is being established in samadhi. And to become established in samadhi is the purpose of the 8 limbs of yoga. But it's already been pointed out that this isn't the whole story. And in fact, the greatest impediment to remaining in samadhi is our basic understanding in respect to our existential situation. In other words, we live in accordance with certain assumptions about the nature of the world, about our own nature, and about our relationship between ourselves and the world. In other words, we've got a particular cognitive understanding which is tied into a particular relationship with what we understand as our perception, the things that we see and hear and so on. We're educated to believe that the world is of a particular nature, and we can call that the consensus reality. Now, books 3 and 4 of the Yoga Sutras, and parts of the first 2 books as well, are concerned with redefining the role that this consensus reality plays. Book 3 is very much focused on that transition from emotionally investing in that consensus reality to emotionally investing in samadhi. And this is what the last video was about. Sutras 9 to 14 I described as transformation, but it's really a transition from identifying with a physical external world to identifying with samadhi. Now, I'm not contrasting the external physical world with something internal, because our internal world, as far as yogic understanding is concerned, is also part of the external world. There's not really any spiritual distinction. We're not getting caught up in any dichotomy between the inner and outer worlds. They are all the external world. They are all part of consensus reality. With respect to samadhi, they are all external. The mind is external as far as samadhi is concerned. So we're making a transition. We're moving from the mind to awareness. We're moving from focusing on the mind to focusing on awareness. And this is a very subtle process. At any particular moment, we say, this is me, this is who I am. But the chances are at any particular moment, you're in a particular mood. It might not be a good mood, or it might be a positive mood. You might even be feeling very spiritual. And you think, this is who you are, this is the real you. But all of this is part of the mind. And we have to recognize it as such. We don't want to get caught up in any idea that some moods are somehow more spiritual than others. It's true that some moods perhaps are less clinging, are less engulfing than other moods. But some very positive moods can be very, very engulfing and nothing to do with awareness. Feeling great, feeling positive isn't particularly conducive to spiritual understanding. So we don't want to get into categorizing moods. A mood is a mood. It's part of the mind. It's part of the mind-heart dynamic. So in order for us to make this step from mind to awareness, this transition from mind to awareness, we need to be very good at spotting this. We need to be very aware of our moods. And when we're in a mood, which is most of the time, Sutra 15 tells us the cause for progressive differentiation is differentiating changes. This seems a little bit convoluted, but it's really quite simple. It's just what I've been saying. We need to be able to differentiate the changes in our mood, to realize that we're in a mood, and this reinforces the transition, the progressive transition from mood, from mind to awareness. And it's described as progressive in the sense of gradual. Sutra 6 told us that progress in samyama is gradual. So it's a transition that we're always working on, bringing ourselves from moods to awareness.